In March 2021, Canada's assisted dying law expanded, creating a second track of patients. Now, it no longer requires a person's natural death to be reasonably foreseeable, meaning MAID is open to people with disabilities and conditions like chronic pain who aren't near death. Sometimes Track 2 patients are suffering because of lack of medical services or supports for home care. The wish for death for these vulnerable patients, says Dr. Anderson, is because they can't access services that can lead to a better life.
I believe in the right to end your life with dignity. If a person has been diagnosed with an incurable illness and they want to leave this world while they can still say goodbye to loved ones, or if a person is suffering and there is no treatment for what is causing their pain, I feel they should be able to peacefully end their life on their terms. But what is happening in Canada is appalling. This is Rebel HQ. I'm Sandy Loves. In 2016, Bill C-14 passed. This allowed Canadians to apply for medical assistance in dying, or MAID. Only adults who have grievous and irreversible medical conditions could apply, and there's strict rules governing access to assisted suicide. If these rules aren't met, a person who aids someone else to end their life is guilty of a crime. Last year, Bill C-7 was passed, which amended the law to allow people with disabilities whose death is not forthcoming to apply for MAID. Again, I'm not against this in principle. It's how it's being practiced I take issue with. Canada ranks 33rd out of the 38 OECD countries for spending on people with disabilities. The United States, yes, you guys, you do better than us. People with disabilities are forced to live well below the poverty line. Disability benefits don't cover market rent anywhere in this country, which means people are clinging onto the affordable units they're in, even if their units are being neglected or they're in abusive situations. Landlords look for any reason to kick them out, and governments look for any reason to kick them off of support. The rates, if increased at all, are never enough to meet inflation. Remember those COVID payments of $2,000 a month Canadians loved to brag about? Justin Trudeau said it was the bare minimum needed to survive. That benefit was means tested, and people who received disability supports didn't qualify, even though we're expected to live off of roughly half that amount. People with disabilities aren't given the supports they need for housing, food, medication, dental care, transportation, and so much more. And now, here's MAID. Instead of it being a last option for many to end their suffering, it's their only option. The government will help us end our life with dignity, but will do nothing to help us live a life with dignity. It didn't take long for what we feared to start happening. Women with chemical sensitivities chose medical-assisted death after failed bid to get better housing. After years of isolation due to COVID, a landlord refusing to accommodate her, governments at all levels ignoring her pleas, she saw MAID as the only option to end her suffering. All she needed was a home free of chemicals and smoke to live. She didn't want to die. She just couldn't go on living like that. There's a growing demand for MAID from people with disabilities who can't afford to live. I hear anecdotal stories of people taking their lives after being kicked out of their homes or being kicked off of benefits. It's a fear that's always in the back of my mind. If mental health illnesses are the sole condition a person is suffering with, they can't apply for MAID. Yet. That's scheduled to become available next year. Did you know Canada's universal healthcare system doesn't include mental health care? From what I've heard, the situation for people with disabilities in the States isn't any better than here. We at least have a large part of our physical medical needs covered. With long COVID causing an influx of people with disabilities, our already underfunded systems are going to be strained even more. People with disabilities contribute to their communities, but since we don't contribute in a way that benefits a capitalist system, we're seen as burdens and disposable. We have learned to be advocates for ourselves, but for folks like the woman in the article, it doesn't matter how much advocating we do, we go unheard. We need people who aren't struggling to survive to join us. Something I tell people interested in advocating is, don't wait for it to be your problem. Anyone can end up with a disability related to health or due to an accident. Our governments have shown when it comes to spending on things like militaries, bailouts for corporations, and pipelines, there is no price tag too high. It's about time they use that money to improve the lives of the people they're supposed to work for. For more of my stuff, look for me on social media as Left of the Box. Don't forget to hit buttons and leave comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, get informed, get involved.